welcome back. We have another amazing show for you today. Today, it's all about women in healthcare. These are two of our exceptional women awardees who are just going to knock your socks off. They're fabulous. We have Dr. Hindi Stoll. She's an obstetrician, gynecologist, and also a lawyer. She is the head of maternal fetal health at Harbor UCLA and a clinical assistant professor at USC as well as at UCLA. She's got lots to tell us about medicine and the law. She also gives expert testimony in medico-legal cases. That should be interesting. And we have Amy Towner. Amy is the Chief Executive Officer of the Healthcare Foundation for Ventura County, which is one of our very important areas here in Southern California. I'm Lorraine Siegel. I'm the Chairman, Founder, and CEO of the Exceptional Women Awardees Foundation. Why did we start this foundation? Well, as a woman growing up in South Africa and then in this country, I never had a mentor. And I was a woman who walked the road less traveled. And so early in my career as a lawyer and then as a CEO of a number of different companies in startup and more emerging companies, and also then as a board director, I never had a mentor and I always wanted one. And so I decided to set up, with the help of other women in the group, the Exceptional Women Awardees Foundation, women who walk the road less traveled and women who we mentor for the rest of their lives. And so let's get right to it. I'm going to go straight into a question for Hindi. So Hindi, you have an amazing background. I want you to go back to the early days because I think you grew up in New York, right?
Thanks, Lorraine. Good evening. Thanks so much for having me. Yes, you're right. I actually was originally born in Philadelphia, and then grew up in a tiny bit in Philadelphia, St. Louis, and New York, and then out in Los Angeles. Did my schooling out here and studied in Israel. Actually received a teaching certificate when I was there, and then came back to the States to do college. After college, I was really at a crossroads. I had always loved medicine, always thought about going into medicine, but really loved education. So I actually was a teacher in high school before pursuing medicine directly. And I taught chemistry and Judaic studies, kind of marrying my interest in medicine and health and science with my background as an Orthodox Jewish woman. I decided at that point, I loved education and decided I was going to merge education, but continuing on with my passion for medicine. And so I did indeed go to medical school. Loved women's health, always wanted to work with women of all ages, and landed in obstetrics and gynecology. And because I was so fascinated with pregnancy, I decided to subspecialize in what's called maternal fetal medicine.
Oh, Hindi, we've got so much more to ask you, but I have to go to Amy because Amy, you have walked the road less traveled. And although I've known you for years and seen your progress, tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are today and also go back many years so that we can know what the thought process to get you to this amazing point of success was.
Yes, Lorraine, it was a journey in so many different areas like construction and finance and lots of different areas, and also many startups. So I started as an entrepreneur. And I started my first startup when I was 23, and it was successful, and sold that company to one of my customers because I had all three of my children. And I then went, and many of the women listening might be able to, this might resonate with them. I ended up being a stay-at-home mom and wife for 15 years and came out of that, of course, cherished journey. And again, went right back into the workforce and ended up actually getting my position here because of my time volunteering, believe it or not. So I was volunteering for the county health and hospital system, and it was through my volunteering that I ended up co-founding and starting Healthcare Foundation for Ventura County, of which I'm the CEO. So again, a lot of times women don't feel like they have the option, and I want to encourage all women that, there are different ways.